Dames en heren, mag ik uw warm applaus voor Rudy de Waele.
Graag gedaan. Goedemiddag, bon après-midi. It's always great to be back in Belgium. So, as your CEO mentioned, the future is now, is a statement that is more and more accurate every year. Because the future used to be something that is happening in 20 years, far away, or even in 10 years, or even 5 years. But now, with all technology that's coming so fast, the future is coming closer every year. 2 years ago, nobody knew about artificial intelligence except in universities and some geeks. Now everybody knows or heard about artificial intelligence. So the future is coming closer, and the future is now. So I'm going to give you an overview of the technologies that will shape your business in the future, and what are all the consequences and effects of that. So the first thing I wanted to mention is a quote from Bill Gates. We always overestimate the change that will occur in the next 2 years, and we totally underestimate the change that will happen in the next 10 years. When I was working with Nokia in 1999 in Helsinki, we were creating already the scenarios for Nokia of how cool it's going to be with a smartphone. You know, to be able to put in your favorite actor and then get an alert when there's a new movie coming out and then buy tickets through your smartphone. That was in 99. But it still took like 9 years until the iPhone came, until that process was actually optimized and affected. Also, when I was in Seoul, in South Korea in 2004, 2005, one of the things that shook me then was when I came out of the airport and at the bus station, everybody was watching its phone like this. Remember, there was a time where we used the phone like that. So these changes, they happen not that quickly, but over time. So I also like to go back to the past, how we were looking at the future from the past. So when I was a kid in primary school, for example, we were asked, probably at primary school, age 7 or 8, to draw the future in the year 2000. And all the boys, at least, were drawing flying cars. You know, it was the early 70s. That looked pretty obvious because we were going to the moon at that time. But nobody knew that, you know, the biggest impact would come from computers, and communication technology, and the internet, and then mobile technology. These have been the technologies that have shaped and reshaped our world, the way we work and the way we live, the way we communicate. So while everybody's now talking about self-driving cars, you know, there's a number of entrepreneurs already in the world that are working on different concepts. Not just cars, because cities are congested, roads are congested, but they are actually working on self-driving planes. So if you think in 10 years' time, I believe that we will have a future where there will be type of cars that will be more like a plane, like this one, for example, from a startup in Slovakia. You still have to fly this one yourself. You can order this now for $1 million, and it becomes available in 2020. That's only 3 years away. If you look at this one from Airbus, for example, this is a pod which is entirely electric, totally self-automated, and can take you from one place to the other. It can drive on the roads, but it can also be lifted up in space, as you will see in the video. So this is a concept, but Airbus is very serious about it in actually making this happen. So especially in cities, very dense areas, where you can actually move from one place to another faster. So these type of technologies will definitely happen. This one is CityHawk in Israel, another startup that comes out of the army, and they are already piloting now self-flying car, totally automated. It can lift up, it can fly at higher speeds and then stop at a certain level. They want to commercialize this also in a couple of years' time. So this is not the future. This is happening now. This one is in Dubai. It's a self-driving drone that will be launched this year in Dubai as a taxi service, to bring one person from point A to B. Entirely automated, entirely electric, entirely self-driven. And this is a new project from Larry Page, CEO of Google, who invented this thing, the Kitty Hawk, who is more suitable for natural environments. Now it's only available to fly over the water, but later on it will be used also in, nature and outdoors. So the thing is that, if you're in the car business, there's going to be tons of different type of devices, tons of different types of vehicles that are going to be around in 10 years' time. So your business is going to be diversifying, in many different areas. This is the reality where we are today. We have polluted cities. We have way too much traffic. It's totally unproductive. It's totally inefficient. We waste a lot of time. I think in average cities, people lose, on average, a month of time per year that they spend in traffic. A month per year. And nobody is doing anything about it. So even if, politicians, or if we have to improve infrastructure, there's no solution there. We cannot build more cars. We need less cars. That is why the young generation is actually looking for solutions in different types of areas like self-driving and self-driving cabs and different types of transports. So I will show you a couple. Did you know, for example, that the average time that a car is used is only 4%? 96% of your time with a car is spent in a parking. That sounds like a waste of space, huh? So this is why, true data actually is how we have found this type of things. There's this app called Waze, who launched in 2008, and they actually tracked all the data from people on the road, also to find shortcuts and avoid traffic jams. So, but on a bigger picture, they are able actually to map all that data for cities. And this is what they do now for over 200 cities. Because most of the cameras in cities are still analog. So they can see when there's a lot of traffic or when there's a traffic jam, but they cannot see the whole picture, as you can see in this slide, of where actually the jams are happening, where the movement is happening. So the European Union just made an agreement with 29 countries also to install by 2025 5G in all major urban areas, on all major highways and on all railways, to speed up also the switch towards self-driving and autonomous and connected driving. This was an experiment for the 6 major truck manufacturers. European truck manufacturers. Last year, they drove from 6 different countries to the port of Rotterdam, from Sweden, Germany, Belgium, France, and Denmark, I believe. And they all went self-driving to the port of Rotterdam. So this is not the future. This is happening already. So if you just think about self-driving, what does that change? If you know that the car is going to drive you from point A to B, you can start imagining lots of different things. You can use your car to have a relaxation session, entertainment session. You could do a meeting in your car with your fellows. You can have a coffee shop or a co-working space in your car. So there's now tons of different concepts of how what can we do in different ways when we drive around from point A to B. So it's going to affect a lot of other businesses as well, not just transport. Look at truck drivers, for example. Self-driving trucks, which is experimented by Otto in the US. This company was bought already by Uber. And so the thing is, the technology is pretty accurate already on highways. They did experiments for 200 miles already with a truck full of Budweiser in the US. But they still need a driver for maneuvers like parking and complicated maneuvers, things like that. So also the drivers may actually have to do something different while they are actually relaxing in the truck. So these are things to think about as a company also. What can we do with drivers that they can do differently than just paying attention to the road? The Uber CEO predicted that for 2030 in New York City, they can replace the entire taxi fleet of 124,000 taxi cabs with only 9,000 self-driving cars. With an immediate efficiency, they can do that cheaper and much faster. That's technology at work. If you look at the cities of the future, it's going to be a whole integrated type of system of different types of transport. It's not going to be just designed for cars. Yeah, there's going to be self-driving cars, self-driving trains, self-driving buses, connecting parking lots, connecting traffic lights, connected street lights, also drones that can have surveillance for emergency, or also traffic accidents and things like that, preventive analytics. Think about parking spaces. If there's no cars anymore to park, did you know that 30% of many US cities, also everywhere in Europe, are devoted to parking spaces? So all these spaces will become available. We can do lots of new things in there. McDonald's, for example, 70% of their business is drive-in business. Yeah, so this is going to disappear because we will have everything in our self-driving car. We will have all the comfort. We will not have to stop anymore to eat. Why would we? We don't need a break, yeah, because we're happy in our car. People who sell car parts, yeah, is also going to disappear because the cars get better and better. Technology gets better. Software gets better. Actually, they can get software updates already on the go. And then there's also technology that will improve a lot of things. This is a demo from Foresia, which has a technology which is called Active Wellness, where actually they can track the heartbeat, your breathing also from the lungs, your temperature. They can size the temperature in the car, the humidity in the car. So, and they are already experimenting with insurance companies to create a direct link. Yeah, so when an accident happens, what were the conditions? So there will be also lots of great things that can happen with technology, as you can see in this video. So most change happens gradually, then suddenly. Yeah, so for example, the self-driving car. I sat in a self-driving car in 2011 in Silicon Valley at Singularity University. In the Google car at that time. When I came back to Europe, I told my friends, I said, in a self-driving car, and they said like, oh, come on. That's not possible. And I said, yes, it's possible. So actually my friends who even understood about technology could not believe that. Now only 5 years later, 30 car manufacturers are applying this technology. This is how fast it goes, gradually then suddenly. The other one, the car in the corner on the right, is from Local Motors. It's a 3D printed car. Yeah, they source actually the best design online and then it's printed into a car. And they get better and better at it every year. They are creating already microfactories. Mercedes has announced a self-driving taxi in 3 years' time as a service. Meanwhile, Uber invented the self-driving crash. So there are some difficulties still, yeah, on the road. So, but Tesla, on the other hand, they are so sure about their technology that they also decided to take the insurance. When you buy the car, you get a lifetime insurance. A lifetime insurance. Yeah? So you buy your car, you get everything in there because they are sure about their automated technology. This is a very bold statement that Tesla launched recently. So technology changes who we believe and who we trust. Yeah? Here you can see in this slide how consumers would be willing to buy cars from tech companies. Tech companies were not in the car business a couple of years ago. But look at the statistics. Yeah? So India, China, Brazil, France, Germany, US, UK, the traditional car manufacturing countries score very low. Also by age, the younger age group is more willing to buy a car from a technology company. Trust is the single most important value of your business, and will stay the single most important value because it's all about your relationship with your client. It's all your relationship with the people. Yeah, so look at what happens, behaviors from customers, yeah, for trusted companies and what they do from distrusted companies. Yeah, so trust is very important. 27% of millennials would be likely to bank with non-financial services. Yeah, companies with which they already do business. This is a statistic from Accenture in US. It's the end of good enough. Yeah? It's all about the experience. Yeah? The younger generation, they care about experiences. An experience which is on the phone, which is on your smart TV, which is on your laptop, which is in the physical world. But it's the company who creates the best experience who is the winner of today. Yeah, areas ripe for disruption. Insurance ticks all 4 boxes. The good thing is that it's going to happen in a couple of years. You can anticipate. Yeah, complex environments, trust issues, obsolete intermediaries, restricted access are all going to be disrupted easily. I'll show you some examples later. So we have the decline of traditional advantages like distribution, location, size. Yeah, this is an example from the music business, yeah, where we came from physical downloads, yeah, to streaming business. Yeah, so what is important now is attention, brand, trust, purpose, liquidity, interfaces, speed, intelligence. These are the new words of today. These are the values, yeah? So if you can integrate this in your business, you are the winner, and you can connect to the youngsters. By the way, who knows the world's largest music streaming service? It's YouTube. Yeah. So we have technology, all the areas that have been disrupted, yeah? From data, information, content to start with, then music, media, films, TV, print, think about Netflix, cities, transportation, cars, which is happening now, retail and commerce is also happening now, and then later banking, financial services, fintech you heard about, and then also insurance, yeah? The insure tech, as we call it. And then pharma, medical, energy, supplies, and then even water and food are going to be disrupted. So, but it's going to go faster. If you think it was going fast, it's going to go lots faster. So this is the D-Wave computer from Google, which is 1,000,000 times faster than has the power of the, no, 1,000,000 times the power of the fastest commercially available computer today. Yeah, and this is in the labs, and they're going to commercialize this pretty soon. Motorbots. This is the motorbot from Yamaha, which is actually a robot motorcycle, yeah, that they use for the MotoGP. And they use it in testing so they don't have to hurt the pilot who needs to perform on Sunday on TV as a human. Yeah? But he does much better in the testing areas. Yeah, so robots get very, very, very accurate and good at many things. We can even 3D print skin now. Yeah? We can make robots who are nearly like humanoids. Yeah, it's still a bit away, but they're coming. Artificial intelligence, probably the single most technology that will be so important. I believe that it's as important as when Henry Ford invented the assembly line, yeah, that changed the whole way we produce goods last century. Artificial intelligence is going to do the same. Because by connecting everything to data, there's so much data that needs to be analyzed that we as humans, we cannot do it anymore. We need help from machines. Yeah, so, and this is a great thing, as your CEO mentioned already, like in cancer research and all that. So we can combine, we can collect all the data and then create good samples and analytics from it. So hardware eating software, nanocomputing. Hardware becomes so tiny, yeah, there's already hardware that you can take in as a pill and it can communicate with a phone or a device on your arm, yeah, of what's happening inside your body. Yeah, you have already chips in your, neuromorphic chips, they call them, in your Samsung Note 7 or 8 in the latest iPhone. Photonics. Photonics is a new way of transferring data through laser. Yeah? Intel is experimenting now at 50 gigabit per second. 50 gigabit per second. So these are things that are like unthinkable a couple of years ago. Graphene, which is a new material, which is 100 times stronger than steel, but a lot lighter also, and it can also transmit energy, yeah, heat and cold. So this is used a lot in solar energy and also in batteries. Yeah, Tesla is using this for its batteries. Neuroscience, we know more about the brain than we ever knew before. We do already implants. In Oxford University, they did an implant with a woman, and she could see colors. Yeah, from a blind woman, we can make her see, not entirely in detail focus, but we can make her see colors. Another experiment in US was with the person who could actually connect back to feeling his hand, yeah, by implants. CRISPR, genetics, DNA. Yeah, we can now edit the human genome. We can edit the human genome. We can cut out diseases. Yeah. From birth, which is going to revolutionize science. Yeah? This is Lila. She did an operation in December 2015 in London City Hospital. She had a leukemia and was terminally sick. Her parents asked the university to do a genetic transplant. So she survived. I read an article last week that she is totally free from cancer now. I have a friend in my neighborhood in Eeklo. He had this disease of color, one of the fierce cancers. And then he did a genetic therapy, and he's now running around like he's 30. Yeah, so all these new genetic type of therapies are still in early stage, but they are very promising, yeah, to do things different than we have ever known before. Yeah, we have Human Longevity, which is a company in Silicon Valley who is actually collecting data, yeah, from your DNA. I did my sample of DNA. I know already what type of diseases I am sensible to. Yeah, so I can act upon it. It's the start of preventive type of medicine. Yeah, if you know what's coming, you can act and you can behave in a certain way to cure it. Meanwhile, we have the rise of the centenarians. Yeah, people get older. Yeah, but actually, this lady is to stay young. She's the oldest yoga teacher in the world. She is still teaching every day in New York City, and she has global programs. Yeah, her philosophy is that the idea is to die young, as late as possible. Yeah, so the elderly are in better and better shape. Also, so we live longer. How does that affect your business? A baby born today can live 142 years old. Yeah, it's predicted now with the technology we have now. And this is going to accelerate. But are we prepared for that as a society? Yeah, we need to change. We need to think things through. So here are some technologies of 3D printing. This is a seed which is actually produced by mycelium, which is actually a new material made out of mushrooms, entirely organic. We can 3D print houses. There's lots of projects already in China and Dubai. We can 3D print fashion. Not sure if that's the easiest way to walk through for the ladies, but we can 3D print food. We can even 3D print organs. Yeah, regenerative medicine. This is happening all over the world in very advanced hospitals, and they do already implants which are successful. Yeah, based out of our own cells. We can grow new livers, new hearts, and things like that. This is an entirely vegetal burger made in the labs. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of startups in Silicon Valley that is working with genetics and entirely vegetal materials like protein and soya protein, and vegetable substitutes, and they can make burgers that taste as good as meat. So they are ready to entirely disrupt the food chain. So everything is going to change in many different areas. So we are actually coming from, walking with a phone to wearables, have devices on our thing, to actually get limbs that are connected and later on connect our brain even. So we become actually godlike. Yeah? Everything that I have seen in Star Trek is now possible. Yeah? Except teletransportation. Yeah, but with virtual reality, we're getting there also somehow. So we have technologies that are enhanced, but that also will diminish humanity. So it's essential that we keep a balance. The ethics will become more important than ever. Yeah, because we have to keep things in balance. Yeah, we have to use technology to serve humankind, not the other way around. Some people and some companies are not thinking. They just are interested in profit and technology. Yeah, but it's important for us to keep our human values and ethics around all these things and think before we do. So we are at the pivot point of exponential technological change. To keep thinking the old way doesn't really work. Change isn't optional. Yeah? You need to adapt. You need to prepare for the future. And you need to think differently, not in the old way. You cannot work with old industrial models of coal and steel in the new world. That doesn't work anymore. Because we have an entirely new system, we have an entire new ecosystem, new partners, new everything, new business models, everything is new. Connectivity, data, intelligence, new relationships with man and machine. Yeah, so I think humanity will change more in the next 20 years than in the previous 300. Yeah, because of the merge also of biology and technology. We will see innovations that were unthinkable before. Because now even biology is turned into data. We can measure that, and then with AI, we will turn everything into entirely new businesses and solutions. So the Internet of Things, which we call the rise of the fourth platform, yeah, which is basically a fabric of community, data, devices, and intelligence. We come from standalone computing, distributed computing, cloud, and then ambient computing. From thousands of apps to literally billions of apps, yeah? From zero network connections to literally infinite network connections. Yeah, so when we connect every object, there's going to be an infinite amount of data to analyze. Yeah? So we also need machine intelligence, mind-machine type of connections will happen, and everything connected. So here's a slide of the Internet of Things landscape in different areas. Yeah? You can look at home, vehicles, enterprise, industrial internet, interfaces, different types of technology. But as an insurance company, you need to think like, with who can I partner? Basically, your ideal model is that you can partner with all of those companies. All of those companies that you think that you will provide a product or a service could become your partner. So the way of the future is to be flexible and fluid and have everything integrated. Anything that can be digitized and automated will be. Yeah? So we can see that already in large manufacturing. This is a video from Tesla, for example. Yeah, so where nearly everything is already entirely robotized. This is not new, by the way. This has happened already in the 80s and 90s. There has been an ongoing evolution. Amazon is also using this in its service centers, as you can see in this video. And more companies are using robotics. Yeah? Robots are never sick. They are 24-hour, 7 days, and they always perform. So it's hard for companies to say no to this technology. Data-driven buildings. Buildings become more and more connected. This is the Edge in Amsterdam, which is now the smartest building in the world, which actually can detect already when you drive in with your car, and then you come into the room, and it's entirely modular. Yeah? So you can adapt your day regarding the number of meetings you have, what type of meetings, one-to-one meetings, co-working space, or a group meeting, and everything you can manage through the app. You can manage your lighting, you can manage temperature, you can even manage to get your coffee and things like that. So this will be more and more type of the buildings we will see in the future. Artificial intelligence, as mentioned, is probably the most important thing. I'll just give one short example in cars, which is Drive AI, which is actually collecting all the data generated when a self-driving car is driving. Or with people, with passengers in it, and also all that data. From that data, they can then sell to insurance companies or other companies interested in this data. And there's tons of startups coming in this area, all focused on data. Digital assistants, cognitive agents, as we call them. Yeah, you've seen that already with Cortana, probably. But what is happening now is basically all the communication is going to the messaging apps. Yeah. We have all the messaging apps, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, Skype, Viber, Line, and so on, Snapchat. So these are the most important. So what everybody was not expecting is actually the communication and these messaging centers become the interface for everything. Yeah, the new generation is constantly in these type of apps. They are the most used apps. I checked into an aeroplane with KLM. Yeah, I did my whole check-in, got my boarding pass through Facebook Messenger. I don't need to download an app anymore. Yeah, I can just do everything from Facebook Messenger. And it was fluid experience. Interface revolution, voice will become the next big thing. Yeah, we have now the technology available that we can talk to devices, any type of devices. Think about the Amazon Echo or Apple Siri and others. I have a short demo here from Viv, which is a company that got acquired by Samsung. Can you bring up the volume a bit?
Conversational commerce. So the goal here is how easy can you make it to get things done by talking to things, right? So let me give you a few examples. Send Adam 20 bucks for the drinks last night. Okay, our friends from Venmo come up. It knows who Adam is. It knows what it's about. We're going to go ahead and send that. That's it. It's done. Adam's got his money. One sentence, and it's done. Let me continue. Send my mom some flowers for her birthday. Our friends from ProFlowers come up with some beautiful arrangements here, but, well, she is a tulip lover. Let's try that. What about tulips? Great. So some beautiful arrangements here. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Knows where my mother lives, seamlessly puts all that together, and we'll go ahead and buy that. And that's it. The flowers are on the way, right? Let's keep going. Get me a nice room in Palm Springs for Labor Day weekend. Our friends at Hotels.com come up with some cool options. Okay, I've stayed at the Andreas Hotel before. It's pretty nice. So I'm going to go ahead and get that. I think a deluxe room would be good. And let's book that. Has anyone ever seen a hotel booking that's that simple before? Come on, you guys, is this exciting stuff or what?
Yeah, this is how fast and fluid it goes now. Samsung is going to integrate this in the Samsung Note 8 already, I believe. So all these type of services will become accessible more and more by voice. So the other interface revolution is basically augmented reality, virtual reality, as we know with all these helmets like HoloLens or Microsoft HoloLens and also the Oculus Rift from Facebook. Yeah, so what is happening is there's an entirely new virtual worlds are created, yeah? So which will influence also work. There are startups that are creating desks or office spaces where there's no desk anymore. You can just invent, actually, what you are going to work at. You want to type? You can type. You want to talk? You can talk. You can just draw it? You can just draw it. So you can invent your own interface. Yeah, so lots of designers are using it. Ford is already using it to design its new cars. Disney is using it to design its new theme parks and so on. So Mark Zuckerberg says that this technology will come to your normal glasses in 10 years' time. So we won't have these heavy helmets anymore, but we will have literally like mixed type of reality, yeah, where we can connect to a virtual world wherever we are. Blockchain. Yeah, you heard about smart contracts for insurance. It's going to be very important because there's basically, it's a kind of checkup, so to automate documents. So it's still in a very early phase. There seems to be problems with scaling, but there's 15% of banks are already using blockchain, have already projects with blockchain now, this year. So I believe that this will become a technology that will become more and more important because it's about trust. Yeah, so there's no intermediary anymore that can put money in his pockets or commissions. It's an entire platform that actually generates trust. Yeah, the Internet of Trust, we call it, or the trust layer. So let's look at some new companies that are actually in the insurance and disrupting your space. This is the Zebra, which is actually comparing car insurances, quotes from every top insurance company in seconds in the US. Yeah, this is pretty disruptive for traditional insurance companies. Yeah, but then again, I always say that, you know, insurance is about people. It's about your relationship with people. It's your connection with the people. It is the value you bring to the people. Yeah, so many people get, you know, distracted by the technology because it's so cool, this and that. And it's true that for the young generation, they make it easy for the young generation to compare or to make a decision. So you have to adapt to that young generation also. Yeah, to make it fluid and create a good experience. But in the end, it's about people. Don't forget, these guys understood that. This is a project from the UK, which is actually creating a new type of insurance for groups. For example, football clubs or swimming clubs, things like that. So they create a pool where people can then actually put their shared competence or as a driver, and then the better they perform, the more they can actually have a better premium. Yeah, for insurance, or they can lower their premiums or their fees. This is Safe Share, which is another one from the UK, which is actually specializing in the sharing economy. So don't underestimate all the sharing economy. There's lots of projects also with carpooling or even bringing kids to school There's lots of new projects in that area. So the types of insurance may change, yeah, more flexible. So they are focusing in that, on typical insurances for the sharing economy. This is Ticker, which is actually specializing in the more adventurous people. Yeah, so I can just get an insurance when I go skating, when I go skiing, when I go doing my any type of adventurous sport. Yeah, so I just put it on or off. Yeah, so it's more personalized in the moment. Yeah, Appliant is specializing in workflow. Yeah, for insurance brokers and agents. Yeah, so actually to create a better workflow for you and in between you and the customer. This one is about making insurance truly personal. Yeah, insurance on the go. Yeah, or just when you work out. The healthier you are, the flexible you are. Yeah, you pay less insurance. Pay as you go is insurance you can control. So lots of people, they don't use their car all the time. So this is just an insurance when you just will use your car, actually. And so on. There's tons of examples in this area. This is one with a video.
And as I step outside, all of these things with me are fully insured against loss or damage, instantly. That trick I just showed you, that's Trove. Trove is smart insurance. Unlike blanket policies that cover everything at once, Trove helps me protect just the things I care about. All I have to do is swipe to protect. So, if anything happens, just about anything you can imagine, I know my camera's covered. Trove makes it easy to file a claim through the app. I just answer these questions, and Trove handles the rest. And every time I leave my house, things like my laptop and phone are protected. Trove puts me in control of the things I care about, and that's really smart.
So you see more and more customizable and on the go for the new generation. N26, yeah, which is a new bank, which is based in Germany, and is entirely flexible. So they actually work together with Allianz to provide you insurance on the go. So I travel a lot everywhere, so I'm always insured, you know, by having this type of card, like what they used to do with Visa and MasterCard. So there's lots of this young type of companies that are fully focused on the experience of the user, yeah, and the comfort of the user, yeah, with the new tools of today. Lemonade is probably one of the most popular. You all know this. I have a short video too. Yeah, this is how easy it goes. Fluid experiences, this is what it's about. Yeah, so also follow what is happening. Snapchat is now one of the most popular messaging platforms. Yeah, so there's more and more advertisers that put more money into Snapchat because that's where the people are, that's where the millennials are. Yeah, so if you want new leads, you can generate them with campaigns in there, these new platforms. So So there's lots of initiatives happening also in the startup world. If you want to, anticipate to what's coming, follow what they are doing. Startup Bootcamp, for example, in the UK, this is the program of 2017, with lots of great startups in there. They are all already experimenting with new models, and they do that with real clients already. Yeah, so insurtech companies, this is a slide from last year, but you can see how many in different areas they are, and there's literally hundreds of startups working in that area on very specific solutions, for very specific targets. So drones also might be an area to focus on. This is one that is specializing aerobotics in agriculture, but could also be used in maritimes. So to follow ships or to actually see what is happening maybe in certain areas. So we need to do hybrid thinking. What is today and what will be coming? Many CEOs, they ask me, like, why do I need a futurist? Or what do I need to follow? I don't have time for this, So, but if you don't, you will not know what's coming. So you cannot anticipate to the future, because there's lots of opportunities in this future also. So it's in an abundant digital world, it's important to provide a constant stream of added value. Think about Airbnb and their experiences. They are not just stopping at like renting places. No, they create experiences. They're constantly evolving. They see the interest of their users, and then they anticipate with new products. So there's 5 new economies that are merging, or emerging. So you have to follow them. Maker economy, 3D printed. On-demand sharing economy, own less, access more, a new kind of disownership. This is happening everywhere, especially with the young generation. Circular economy, people, planet, profit, towards a sustainable capitalism. We can't keep on polluting our planet. So start with your own behavior, start with your own responsibility. Show the way. Experience economy, immersive and embodied experiences, lifetime memories, not purchases. Gig economy, remote working and telepresence. These are all economies that are happening already. They're just emerging, and they will be becoming stronger and stronger over time. So we will have huge ethical challenges everywhere, especially with robots, AI, genetics. We're never offline anymore. So this is one of my favorite slides from my fellow futurist Frank Diana about combinatorial innovation. If you look at this slide, so on top you see in blue, you see the technologies that we have already, internet, social, mobile, cloud, big data. Then you see all the ones that are emerging, 3D printing, renewable energy, Internet of Things, cognitive systems, nanotechnology, robotics, blockchain, genomics, and then the curve upwards are all the future technologies. But the opportunities lie when you start combining them. If you look, you can make tons of combinations just in these couple of new technologies, and when you start combining them, you will see new opportunities. If you look in your areas or new areas that you want to focus on, you will see new opportunities. And despite all these trends, the certainty, people will always need insurance. So it's just going to change. It's going to be more diversified. So smart insurance is about connected things everywhere, always. Connected people also. Very, very big data. The Internet of Things, home, industrial, manufacturing, health, cars and cities. Systems of engagement, innovative distribution channels, and models. Digital assistants, robot advisors. Artificial intelligence, smart analytics across the entire insurance value chain. Automation everywhere, and new interfaces, voice, AR, and VR. So these are the things that you need to connect to. Keep in mind, technology is exponential, but humans are linear. Technology keeps going at a pace we cannot follow, or hardly follow. But anything that cannot be digitized or automated will dramatically increase in value. If there's going to be technology everywhere, what we will do as humans will become more and more important. It's key for every company also to connect to values, human values. If we as a consumer cannot connect to the values of a company, we will not buy their products. You can see that already in many recent examples. The Pepsi had to withdraw its video from the internet 2 weeks ago because people didn't like it. And there was this association, or wrong association, with Black Lives Matter, which was now commercialized, and people didn't think that was right. Uber CEO had to basically withdraw from advising Trump because all his drivers, or most of his drivers, are immigrants. Yeah? So there's more and more these type of examples. In the UK, Havas Media withdraw with all its biggest corporate clients, all its advertising from YouTube. Why? Because YouTube is so lazy, or to withdraw hate speech from its pages. Because they say it's free speech. Over here in Europe, we think differently. But now advertisers, they see their logo, on the same page with hate speech. So we need to do things about that. So values and human values become more and more important, and they will become more important in the future, because technology doesn't have any values. Technology is neutral. It just goes. So the Internet of Meaningful Things. We come from a society and an economy of products. We have developed the last 30 years an economy of services, and more service type of economy, especially in Europe. We are now in the experience economy. The ones who create the best experiences are the winners of today. But more and more in the future, it will be about meaning. And meaning and values is very important also for your business. Because you have the contact with the consumer and with the people, with the families. That is your business. So that's going to become even more important than technology. So computers are incredibly fast, accurate, and stupid. Humans, we are incredibly slow, inaccurate, but we're quite brilliant. Together, we can do many things. So also for the future, take a holistic view of the future. Before, technology, humanity, organizations were like 3 different things. They weren't really connected. But now, today, through technology, actually all these things are connected. Technology, humanity, organization. So think from a holistic perspective, because it's all connected. So, and let's make sure that we use technology at the service of humans and not the other way around. Thank you very much.